highs in the mid-30s. The coastal waters forecast from Sandy Hook, New Jersey to Fire Island Inlet, New York out 20 nautical miles. Small craft advisory in effect through late tonight. Gale warning in effect from Wednesday morning through Thursday afternoon. For today, southwest winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast early this afternoon, then increasing to 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots late. Seas 3 to 5 feet, occasionally to 6 feet. Wave detail, southeast 4 feet at 8 seconds and east 1 foot at 9 seconds. For tonight, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, becoming south after midnight. Occasional gusts up to 35 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet, occasionally to 8 feet, building to 5 to 8 feet, occasionally to 10 feet after midnight. Wave detail, southeast 6 feet at 8 seconds, becoming southeast 7 feet at 7 seconds. Chance of thunderstorms. Rain. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. For Wednesday, west winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 30 knots, increasing to 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 40 knots in the afternoon. Seas 5 to 7 feet, occasionally to 9 feet. Wave detail, southwest 5 feet at 6 seconds and east 2 feet at 8 seconds. And for Wednesday night, west winds 25 to 30 knots with gusts up to 45 knots. Seas 6 to 9 feet, occasionally to 11 feet. Wave detail, southwest 7 feet at 6 seconds and east 2 feet at 8 seconds. Winds and seas may be higher in and near thunderstorms. The marine forecast for New York Harbor, including Raritan Bay. For today, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming around 10 knots late. Waves around 2 feet. Wave detail, southeast 1 foot at 8 seconds and east 1 foot at 8 seconds. For tonight, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming southwest 10 to 15 knots after midnight. Waves 1 to 3 feet. Wave detail, southeast 2 feet at 4 seconds and east 1 foot at 7 seconds. Rain and chance of thunderstorms. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. For Wednesday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 30 knots in the afternoon. Waves 2 to 3 feet. Wave detail, west 2 feet at 3 seconds and southeast 2 feet at 7 seconds. And for Wednesday night, west winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Waves 2 to 3 feet. Wave detail, west 2 feet at 3 seconds and southeast 1 foot at 7 seconds. Winds and waves may be higher in and near thunderstorms. The marine forecast for western Long Island Sound. For today, southwest winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast this afternoon. Seas 1 foot or less. Wave detail, west 1 foot at 2 seconds and south 1 foot at 9 seconds. For tonight, east winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming southeast 10 to 15 knots after midnight. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Wave detail, east 2 feet at 5 seconds. Rain, mainly in the evening. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. For Wednesday, southwest winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 20 knots, becoming west 15 to 20 knots with gusts up to 30 knots in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3 feet. Wave detail, west 3 feet at 4 seconds and south 3 feet at 8 seconds. Chance of showers in the afternoon. And for Wednesday night, west winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Seas 2 to 4 feet, occasionally to 5 feet. Wave detail, southwest 4 feet at 8 seconds and west 3 feet at 4 seconds. Winds and seas may be higher in and near thunderstorms. The marine forecast for the Long Island South Shore bays. Small craft advisory in effect from this evening through late tonight. For today, southwest winds around 5 knots, becoming southeast. Winds 1 foot or less. For tonight, east winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming south after midnight. Gusts up to 25 knots. Waves around 2 feet. Rain and chance of thunderstorms. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. For Wednesday, southwest winds 15 to 20 knots, becoming west 20 to 25 knots in the afternoon. Waves around 2 feet. Chance of showers in the afternoon. And for Wednesday night, West winds 20 to 25 knots with gusts up to 35 knots. Waves 2 to 3 feet. Winds and waves may be higher in and near thunderstorms. Here is the tide information. At Sandy Hook, high tide is at 8:08 p.m. Tuesday and 8:23 a.m. Wednesday. Low tide is at 2:25 p.m. Tuesday and 2:18 a.m. Wednesday. At the Battery, high tide is at 8:36 p.m. Tuesday and 8:44 a.m. Wednesday. Low tide is at 2:54 p.m. Tuesday and 2:46 a.m. Wednesday. At Kings Point, high tide is at 10:59 a.m. Tuesday and 11:35 p.m. Tuesday. Low tide is at 5:57 p.m. Tuesday and 5:45 a.m. Wednesday. At Montauk, high tide is at 8:58 a.m. Tuesday, 9:23 p.m. Tuesday and 9:42 a.m. Wednesday. Low tide is at 3:46 p.m. Tuesday and 3:33 a.m. Wednesday. Here are the current conditions. As of noon at Central Park, it was mostly sunny. The temperature was 52 degrees, the dew point 31, and the relative humidity 44%. The pressure was 29.89 inches and falling. The report from the Bronx Botanical Gardens was not available. Elsewhere in the metropolitan area, skies ranged from mostly sunny to partly sunny, and temperatures were between 49 and 53 degrees. Across Long Island, skies ranged from mostly sunny to partly sunny, and temperatures were between 50 and 52 degrees. In New Jersey, skies ranged from sunny to mostly sunny, and temperatures were between 51 and 54 degrees. In southwest Connecticut, it was mostly sunny, and temperatures were between 49 and 52 degrees. Here are the latest reports on the coastal waters. At Robbins Reef in New York Harbor, winds were south at 9 knots. The air temperature was 46 degrees. At New York Harbor entrance buoy, winds were southeast at 6 knots. Sea temperature 46 degrees. Air temperature 47 degrees. At 20 nautical miles south of Fire Island Inlet, winds were southeast at 8 knots. The report from 23 nautical miles south of Montauk Point was not available. The report from Hudson Canyon was not available. At 15 nautical miles east of Barnegat Light, sea temperature 48 degrees. Wave height 4 feet. Wave period 8 seconds. On the western sound, Kings Point reported a north wind at 1 knot. The air temperature was 48 degrees. At Bridgeport Harbor, a south wind at 4 knots was reported. The air temperature was 45 degrees. The report from Central Sound was not available. The following are coastal weather reports. As of noon at Eaton's Neck, temperature was 46 degrees. Wind was east at 6 miles an hour. At Morgan's Point in Glen Cove, temperature was 45 degrees. Wind was northeast at 5 miles an hour. At Fire Island Coast Guard, temperature was 46 degrees. Wind was southeast at 7 miles
Bit
an
of
hour.
trouble with the signal here.
Temperature was 48 degrees. Wind was southeast. At Breeze Point, wind was south at 7 miles an hour. Brief minor coastal flooding possible with Wednesday morning. Ground level expected in vulnerable areas near the waterfront and shoreline. Where? New York, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Southern Queens, and Southern Nassau counties. When? Wednesday morning. Impacts. Brief minor flooding of the more vulnerable locations near the waterfront and shoreline. Do not drive through flooded roadways.